Hey guys, what's up? Mike here, and today I've got another review on Fairy Tale on chapter 524 on this Sunday. And yes, it's a Sunday. I realize this chapter came in a couple days ago, probably 2 days ago, maybe Friday night, Saturday morning, somewhere around then. I'm not exactly sure, so I am sorry for getting this up a little bit later, but I do have a reason for that. I was working on my 7 Deadly Sins that came out around the same time as Fairy Tale, so I was busy with that on Saturday. And obviously it takes a really long time for me to upload back at my house, so I can't upload quicker. But as you can see, I'm now back here at my place, and I'll be able to upload a lot quicker. I'll be able to get videos going more frequently. So before I dive right into all the detail that's going on in this chapter, it's more of an action-oriented chapter, so this review is going to be kind of short, plus I am a little bit late, like I said earlier, so it's not going to be in-depth as usual, but I do want to point out one thing about my other series that I'm going to be reviewing. I did say in my other update video, if you haven't seen it, that I'm going to start reviewing Dragon Ball Super, and obviously Dragon Ball Super is getting awesome. I watched the episode that was up today, or yesterday, sorry, and it was really good. It's getting really good lately, and you can't deny that it's just exciting. The lore is getting so interesting, and the universe is really just opening up. So I do want to get into reviewing that, and I may or may not be able to get it out this week. I'm already a day late, so I don't know whether I want to review it or not. I know I'm 2 days late for Fairy Tail, but I'm trying to get this up first because that's a series I've been reviewing for a long time now. Or longer, I guess. So yeah, let's get into the review again. So we start this chapter with some savagery from our boy Acnologia. So glad he's back. So glad the hype train is finally riding onto this Fairy Tale arc, right over it, hopefully, because I mean this arc has been. It's been good, it's been interesting, but it's definitely got a lot of flaws to it. There's no doubt about it. You guys can't deny that. But yeah, he shows up, and Urza and Wendy are pretty much just kind of, fixing their wounds, getting better, and they see Irene lying on the ground, pretty much incapacitated or whatever we assume. But definitely after Acnologia was done with her, she's not moving no more. He kicked her guts out, basically just, bashed her completely. Stomped her about, I don't know, 50 times. I can't really count when it comes to manga. But it was very, very savage, and very brutal for Fairy Tail. I definitely like it when Fairy Tail takes the path of, doing... I know they do the silhouettes like they did with Larcade and Sting, and they usually have the injuries not being as serious as they seem in these panels. But when they do have these panels, it does get me hyped for the potential that Fairy Tail could have actually had, because it does show in parts like that. Acnologia then goes on to explain to, well, not really explain, but just kind of say to Irene, like, he calls her his mother. He has no remorse. We already know Acnologia is like a piece of shit. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody, including his own mom, technically, but it's not really his mom. But he says that she's the one who gave the people Dragon Slayer magic, whenever long ago. And I always wondered who that was when they showed the flashback of the dragon. And it's so interesting to find out that it was Eileen that gave the people the Dragon Slayer magic. And I may be confusing the quote or the line from the chapter, but that's what it seemed like it was. And if so, that's some interesting information for sure. So then we get back into the Natsu and Zeref stuff, and this fight was actually really good. It was really well done in the manga. It really got me hyped. That brotherly look that they had was also pretty good, but we realized that Zeref, or not realized, but we see that Zeref might be going a little bit insane in this chapter. If I went back and I looked at last chapters, and his eyes in that chapter are much different than they are in this chapter. And we know that Zeref's eyes have been changing in the past of this series. He's kind of got this crazy mode that he goes into, and he's in it right now. He's got in the anime it's the red eyes, but in this it's just kind of just bigger eyes, more detail on certain parts, and whatever. In this little brawl, we see that Zeref is probably holding back a little bit, just the way that Natsu blocks his kick, and then he kind of just does the follow through and finishes him off, showing him that, even if you block, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna dummy you. You have no chance. You used up your power when you used Agnio's power. There's none of that left. You got nothing left to fight with me. And he says he's got the power of me, which obviously, good Natsu moment. I always say that Natsu has that kind of style to him. He says, fuck the world, and I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna make my own rules. And that is what I like about Natsu. That's his character. It's just like, you beg for development every once in a while too, right? At this point, everyone kind of notices that Acnologia has just arrived. They have the little exclamation points beside their face. Zeref gets a little excited too. So this is a little bit of a surprise to him, but he knew that they could only stall for so long, or Irene could only stall for him for so long. And then he kind of goes on and says, like, okay, this is it, Natsu. For the humanity, or for the sake of humanity, die. And I think this is probably getting chalked up to the fact that he's in his, like, crazy mode now. But I think it's kind of interesting, like, why would he want to kill Natsu after all of this work he's done to have Natsu be revived. That was his only goal back then. You know, all of this is because he wanted to revive Natsu, and all of the reason why he is even like the guy he is today. The point of that was that he wanted to revive Natsu. Now, having him want to kill him, it kind of shows that this curse is kind of taking its toll on Zeref, and these crazy eye moments are really just out of his main character of his actual person. So maybe we'll get to see that part of him expelled in the future, or at the end of Fairy Tail, or maybe he'll just die. Who knows where Mashima's going to take this. Then we get on to the August and Kana and Gildart stuff. Kana shows up again, kind of talks to August a bit. Then Kana kind of goes on a classic Fairy Tail rant about, you know, it doesn't matter what your goals are. If you're hurting other people in the process, you're making everybody suffer. It's not right. You know, friends and family are what matters. And this is interesting because August then kind of, I wonder how August rationalizes his decisions with Zeref, because he seemed earlier on like he was a decent guy with some morals at least. I feel like we're going to get a little bit of a glimpse into his real personality in this chapter, although you wonder why he didn't show it earlier. But it seems like he's a bit of a maniac, and he's kind of crazy. He wants to kill Kana in front of Gildarts just to see what would happen, or at least that's kind of what we get off the end of this chapter. I'm thinking that maybe August is rationalizing his decisions, that he's doing it for the greater of humanity because Zeref is too, and he's doing all this because Zeref needs to stop Acnologia, and if nobody stops Acnologia, everyone will die, and blah, 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 blah. And in order to stop Acnologia, they had to get Fairy Heart. In order to get Fairy Heart, they had to destroy Fairy Tail, do all this junk, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of maybe why they justified, but even still, you know, there's so much stuff that they've done that's just not even, you know, for the cause. Then we get to see another classic Fairy Tail move, the fairy glitter that Kana pulls out, and it seems that she still has it after all this time, which I guess is good, but I mean, not like it does anything for her. It never has in the past even. I mean, she's always kind of flopped it, and it's not because of the fairy glitter spell being, you know, not powerful. It's because Kana isn't exactly the most powerful mage on the planet, and she's decent, but when you go against people like, well, I'll give you an example, Blue Note Stinger or August, it's never ever gonna work. And it basically did nothing to Blue Note. I don't know why she tries to do it again to August. I mean, it's the best she can do. So I'll give her credit for that. She's trying her best. She wants to, you know, bring everyone together. She wants to stop this guy if she can, do anything that she can, but it's never been enough. She's kind of just naive at this point. She should really get out of there rather than antagonizing the main bad guy at this point for them in front of her own dad that she might, you know, now die in front of. So August then says that even though he knows so many magics, he doesn't understand the relationship between a father and daughter. And actually, before I get into that, the fact that he knows so many magics, he kind of keeps bringing this part up, and he's the king of all magic. You know, he learns every magic in existence, yet he barely uses different kinds. Like, we see he does know Gildarts' crash magic, apparently, but, like, he barely uses any variety of magic or any magic at all. We kind of just see him being powerful and stomping around, August, blah, 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 beam, there you go, boom. You know, it's never any specific, like, if he knows Dragon Slayer type magic, if he knows, you know, Maker magic, if he knows anything, you know, like God Slayer magic or whatever, it doesn't matter. He never uses any of that stuff, and it may be because it's not good enough for him, but it would at least be nice to see him use something specific, you know. So at this point, it sets up for Kana to kind of die in the next chapter, or at least get injured or something. And if August really wanted to, he could probably just annihilate her right there, and that would be it. But we know this is Fairy Tail, and we know that that's probably not going to happen, even though it would add to a lot to the story, making Gildarts incredibly pissed off. We've never seen Gildarts to that point, I don't think. I mean, Gildarts has gotten pissed off before, but it's never really a full-on rage mode, like, I'm going to fucking kill you kind of mood, and I would love to see Gildarts go over the edge like that, and definitely see what would happen. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this chapter. If you had any questions, just let me know in the comments below. If you liked and enjoyed, let me know as well by like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.